Welcome, gentlemen. Congratulations, you found the second week of our video warm-up series. So today we'll hope to build on and expand on what we did last week. So I always like to start with lip trills. I just believe it's the best way to think about coordinating breath and tone. So last week we did kind of a so fa so pattern, or a whole step down. This week let's go so fa mi re do, or 5 notes down. We'll start here. Remember to keep a little bit of a lift here. Remember to keep your breath moving forward, and imagine that you're humming as you complete this exercise. Here we go. Remember not to squeeze. And last one. Great. We're going to do the same pattern now on an ooh-ah, which I believe we did last week as well. Ooh-ah. And again, we're trying to fill up that barrel of sound. Here we go. So tenors, especially as we get towards this lower part of our range, we want to be making sure that we don't pinch, right? We're going to just relax, keep the throat open, and letting that breath move through. I like to give the example that this passageway, the way that our breath moves through our body and the sound out of our mouth, the sort of way we usually refer to that is the vocal tract, the passage along which the sound and air travel. If we think of that like a Play-Doh tube. So in other words, remember when you were a kid, you'd get the kits and maybe you'd get a tube that you could shove through with Play-Doh. And then there was the other piece that you could press that would cause the Play-Doh to come out on the other end. If we ask ourselves, what shape would the Play-Doh be when it came out of the tube? And the answer is the shape of the tube. So if you had a pyramid-shaped tube, you would get a pyramid-shaped stream of Play-Doh. If you had a round tube, you'd get a round stream of Play-Doh. So our vocal tract is the same way. If you cause a particular shape to happen within the vocal tract, that will be the shape of sound that comes out. So if we are singing an ah or an e, that will shape the sound and cause the audience to hear a particular vowel. We also have to remember that anything that obstructs that sound coming through causes a change in the sound. So movement in the cheeks, the tongue, the lips, the back of the throat, the movement of the larynx up and down will necessarily change the shape of the vowel or the sound that you're making. Sometimes we want that change, like when we use consonants. Other times we don't want that change when we're just trying to sustain a single vowel across several pitches. So I want you to become aware of any movement that you have in and through your vocal tract as you sing. All right, so let's do an E-A-E exercise again, and we'll just do it on single pitches this week. We're gonna go E-A-E. We want want to make sure that we're keeping a really steady sound, that we're not lifting into the ah vowel, e, ah, e, and coming off the voice. We also want to make sure we're not going flat, e, ah, or dark, where we let the sound kind of fall into the background. So we're lifting our oval shaped ah by lifting the palate and relaxing the throat. Here we go. Think about forward resonance. And one more. As we move into this higher registration, we want to make sure that we're allowing the kind of brightness that we need in the tone to come forward. So an exercise that we can use to encourage that, or kind of discover where that resonance lives, is by singing on a nya. So an N-Y-E-A-H, nya. And we're really trying to encourage some nasal sounds. And we're just going to go nya, 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 nya. Nice and forward. Here we go. Nya, 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 nya. Nya, 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 nya. Nya, 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 nya. You will notice that when I hold the final pitch, my jaw is dropping. My tongue is against my bottom teeth, and we're really allowing the sound to come out. We want to make sure this one, even though we're thinking about nasality, we don't get pinched. Nya, 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 nya. Nya, 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 nya. Let's do a couple more. Last one. And again, for my baritones and basses, if that's too high, of course, I hope you dropped out. But again, make sure that you're dropping out, not because your technique is failing you, but because it truly is outside the boundaries of your range. If you feel like it's technique that's preventing you from singing well, just pause the video and align your voice a little bit better, and then come back in and see if you can find those pitches in a healthy, balanced way. All right, let's do some solfege work this week. So we want solfege syllables to always be conversant on our tongue. So we're just gonna go 5 up, 5 down this week. Do. In my range. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do. That's simple, here we go. As an arpeggio. So we're now thinking more about intervals, and rather than stepwise or scale-wise motion, we're going to skip through a 1-3-5 pattern. All right, and we're just going to go. course, in the male registration. We're going to start a little lower than maybe my tenors will feel comfortable with. And so just join in when the pitches do start feeling a little bit better for you. Here we go. Allow that sound to spin. We want vibrato on every pitch. Drop out when it gets too high, but make sure you have a nice lifted palate. Support the tone. One more. And again, if you need a moment to kind of gather yourself in order to be able to reach the extensions on these range of your range in these exercises, just pause and take a minute to kind of put yourself back in and join together. Or maybe you just need the beginning pitch. Maybe once you kind of understand the basis of the exercise, you just pause and do it on your own. There's no requirements for how you use this video, of course, just that you use it as a guide for your practice time. So good luck this week, and I look forward to seeing you during your lesson time.